B. You're like,
oh. Yeah, I should get rid of the hat. Got a fresh haircut, I gotta show it. Getting too old, man. I'm losing hair. Left to right. I don't know, we're live?
We're live, yeah.
Hey. This is South Africa, huh?
No, that's Nigeria.
Wasn't Jerry copying South African music?
They're copying South African music?
Yeah, that's South African music and dancing and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's that how the rhythm goes, yeah.
Yeah. This is some South African thing. First time I saw that, I was like, oh, South African people. Well, Nigerians are going to copy and then they're going to come back and say it's their own. Like I'm gonna follow you, whatever. If I tell you I love you,
yeah,
that's the same beat. Come on, guys, need to be gay. These people now, they're running out of beats.
Yeah, that's how music works. Guys, let's do this. All right, people don't have to. Let's do what we gotta do. Alright, welcome to Rush Hour Africa. This is another in-home session. This will be the last of the in-home sessions before we move back to the studio. I have my brother here, Bienfait. He's rightly seated with me here. And we're just going to digest some of the issues going on around the globe, especially with African diaspora. Obviously not even in the camera. Are you going to say this in the camera? Yeah, it comes more clearer like that. It comes more clearer like that. So yeah, like I said earlier, I have my brother Bienfait here with me. I have Elvis seated here as well, and we're gonna digest some of the news, you know, that's going on in Africa and across the globe, here in America and in the diaspora as well. The first thing we're going to talk about, I mean, we haven't gone live for a while, and we apologize to our viewers and listeners about, I mean, we're coming back live in colored, Rush Hour Africa. So keep supporting, keep watching Rush Hour Africa. The first thing that we're going to talk about has to do with the Kenya elections that has been cancelled, ruled as null and void by the Kenyan Supreme Court. And I mean, it came as a surprise to a lot of people because, I mean, you're hardly seeing election that has been conducted in any nation being, cancelled. Even the most democratic countries like America, in Europe, all them countries, they barely cancel elections. But we've seen in an African country where election has been cancelled for the first time, and it has to be conducted again in Kenya. I want to ask my brother Bienfe, do you think it was right that it happened that way and it's going to help improve democracy in Africa, or you think it was bad considering the nature of the situation that the country where they're coming from, where this news is coming from? Being Congo, just an election can overturn the whole country and plunge the country to chaos, and that region hasn't been stable for a while. And now that we have stability and election has gone on peacefully, why would the Supreme Court cancel election and now they have to have another one?
Well, I really don't think, based on democracy, I really don't think it's a wise decision to go ahead and cancel and then redo the election. Because that's showing that you, the Supreme Court, really don't value that democracy system that you guys have in place in your guys' country. You guys don't value the Kenyan people. If the votes show the Kenyan people have spoken, say, hey, we want Uhuru to continue to be the leader, let the people wait for the next cycle. Okay, in my opinion. Like here, like for example, here in America, okay, people say, oh, Donald Trump cheated, all this other stuff, okay, happened. But no one, the Supreme Court did not say, hey, let's have a re-election, okay? No, but it's Donald Trump still the president. They validate democracy, okay? Democracy is one of those things that you have to, if your party does not win, shut up, come back this next 4 years or 6 years, give it.
But I mean, considering the fact that we have laws in place in every country, that's why we have the constitution that forms part of democracy, and we have put those things in place for elections. If someone feels like they have been cheated or something went down in the election that did not favor them and they have grievances, that's why they have put the court in place that they can go there, and put that grievance. So if the court is not going to be able to make a point that maybe the election did not go right, so you guys should go and have it again, then what is the point of putting those things in place?
Well, but the thing though, you have to come back and as a people understand, okay, was there any rig in the election? Okay, if you guys don't identify the problem, then what's the point? Like you're saying, what's the point to go over there and redo the re-election? Okay, say this one was bogus and try to redo it if the same problem is still going to happen, So if there's a problem, identify it, fix it. So if next year, okay, you guys are well prepared, so certain these so-called rig or someone feel like they've been treated unfair or scam happen, so it won't happen again. I don't know what from
what do you think, Elvis?
I feel like, okay, for it to be canceled and rethought, there must be a reason why,
Of course, they were able to prove that the election, the rules governing the elections were not some things happened. But those were mainly technicalities. It wasn't because the vote count. It was technicalities.
Yeah. So then that's why I would disagree with being the way he said that people have spoken Kenya. The Kenyans say that they want the president. That guy. He has a very difficult name to say. But what do you call it? That the people have spoken and they want him to continue. If it's being cancelled and reestablished or recounted, then that means, yes, there's a rig somewhere in favor of him.
No, it wasn't a rig. They were not able to prove a rigging, but they were able to prove that there were technical errors. Some of them were that the papers, some of them were not signed. Some of them didn't have a watermark, so it wasn't eligible. So those are, but not the real vote.
Look. What I can say is there's always going to be some technicality, and whenever it comes,
that is what a lot of people are saying.
So pretty much they should just continue on. He should just get the presidency.
Yes, what's wrong with that? Look, here, let's say here.
No, but the thing that I was looking into is that You know, this is not the first time they've been to court on election.
Yeah.
Especially in Kenya. They've been there before. And they went there earlier on, and maybe at that time they were able to point out technicalities in there that affected the election. And at that time, the Supreme Court may have said, no, we're not going to agree with you. Technicalities didn't have an impact on the actual vote.
Yeah.
So go back. But at the same time, they would tell the Electoral Commission, make sure you prevent those technicalities because it's a law.
Yeah.
So if it happens again, my brother, I think they are obliged to listen to them that no, if we allow that, that means we are giving a free run for the Electoral Commission and the people to do whatever they want to do every year, and people are going to keep coming here. So I think it's just a precedent to make things right just once and for all. But the other thing I was looking at is the response. I mean, we've seen today, that was yesterday, the President Uhuru Kenyatta, after the judgment, he came out to say he supports the judgment. He's in full agreement. It's a constitution. It's a rule of law. But today he's speaking from a different tone, where he said something is wrong with the judicial system. He's attacking the Chief Justice of the nation, right? That the Chief Justice cannot subvert the will of the people, and he's coming for the Chief Justice.
But yeah,
people are condemning him that as a president, you are the first person who is supposed to protect the constitution and the rule of law in the country.
Yeah, but at the same time, the
constitution doesn't protect the will of the people.
The will of the people?
Yeah.
No. And who are the people? The Chief Justice are the people?
The people are the citizens. That's what
the citizen?
Come on now.
If the citizens that voted,
yeah.
Okay.
Then they don't become a norm.
And some of those citizens felt like they didn't go in their favor, and
of course that's how elections are. They're gonna be. It's a win-lose situation. Democracy is a win-lose situation.
Everywhere pretty much it works the same.
Here in America, okay, they have red lines where election will never go in favor of certain politician, no matter how hard you vote. Okay, it is designed for that certain politician, certain group of that politician to always win the area. Okay, here in the state of Arizona, it does not matter. Okay, you know you're gonna lose. Why you even try?
What do you mean? Why are you even gonna try? A lot of people. A lot of these. No. If you think about it, a lot of these independent parties, they know they're gonna lose. But what are the independent parties there for?
What the people can need to do, okay, is if they go have the Supreme Court look into the election commission, okay, look at those technicality, come up with a solution, so that way these problems
it's not recurring. It's pretty much recurring.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing they can do and move on. Let President Uhuru Kenyatta continue ruling for the next how many years? 6 years? 5 years?
No, but we have to look at something here. If you're talking about the will of the people and the citizens of the people, the winners, the losers, they are all part of the people. And everybody is trying to protect their rights.
And that's why President Uhuru Kenyatta came out and said, at the end of the day, your neighbor will still be your neighbor. You're still going to be a criminal.
No, he said that. That was yesterday. But
today is different.
The next day, now you sounding different. You and your vice president. He said he's coming for the Chief Justice. How do you say that as a president? You going for the Chief Justice?
Because the Chief Justice trying to favor the minority.
This is the same Chief Justice who put you in power in 2013 when you won the election.
Hey, my brother, when someone is working against you, okay?
You must work against them. Is that what you're trying to do? No, man. Because I think it has to be a fact.
Because 2013, you won the election, the people took it to court. After they took it to court, they said the court ruled, right?
Yeah.
That you won the election, and you became president. And now the same court is saying that the election was not credible. Now you say you're going for the Chief Justice, and you were threatening him.
So pretty much you're saying it's a fishy situation.
Yeah. All right. Karen, we're talking about the Kenya elections, and the court has ruled that they should conduct a new election within 60 days. And the president of Kenya is threatening the Chief Justice who made the judgment. I mean, he wasn't the only one. There was a court of 6 judges, and they made a judgment 4-2. And now the president is threatening the Chief Justice that they shouldn't have
done as they did.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done what they did. You know, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about if that whole judgment speaks good of African democracy or it was in a bad taste.
If you also really think about it deep within, it seems like every other African countries also face the same issue. Every time there's an election, there's a drawback where this is not fair. This person cheated.
Everywhere. Even in America.
Even in America. Yeah, but I'm saying
eventually all that
it's gonna calm down.
Calm down. Let the guy.
Well, of course.
Let the guy continue to rule. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. In Africa, okay, look, we cannot continue to be having, like you mentioned, okay, people always challenging the election all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna come back and bring a civil war. Okay.
Because now if Kenyatta loses, what happens?
Exactly. What's going to happen? The people who support Kenyatta, they're going to feel like, oh, we have been cheated. We have been cheated. Now, if someone...
But then the opposing party is the same. That's what people just got to understand, that at the end of the day, you make a lot of noises, and then you go about your day...
my brother, at the end of the day, you don't make a lot of noises.
Hey, at the end of the day, that's all they're doing. It's just making a lot of noises. Is it going to make a difference?
Yeah,
that's a question. That's a question I have.
No, in Africa,
but you're trying to say, forget about it. Let him. Kenyatta.
What I'm saying is that okay, Kenya. Okay, Kenya has like in part of the Eastern African country region. Okay, yeah. Kenya is one of those countries that has stability for quite some time. In development. So when you have people questioning its democracy that's been over there for quite some time. Okay.
No, it hasn't been over there for quite some time. Kenya, just 2007, they went through like a mere civil war. They had to do a power sharing based on election. This is Kenya. They haven't had anything for quite a while.
10 years later.
10 years later.
It seems like it's about to go. It's about to be a cyclical cycle.
I think the guy, the opposition leader, who was Raila Odinga, he wants to be president at all costs, and that's sometimes my problem. So people who want to be president at all costs, because looking at the history of Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, their parents used to be allies. Then later on they became enemies. You know, later on they became enemies. So I don't know if it's coming from that angle. You know. But I mean, this guy wants to be president at all costs, and it's in a very bad taste. And sometimes I don't think if I was one of the judges, I wouldn't have even allowed him. You know,
to run.
He'll come to court with his case, but I'll throw it away because this guy wants to be president at all costs, and that's not really good.
Well, we're gonna move.
Yeah, now let's move on to Joel Osteen. He closed his church in Hurricane Harvey. Yeah. I mean, we all heard about this in the midst of a hurricane in America. Yeah. You know that a lot of people are losing their properties, their lives in it. The leader of the Lakewood Church, in Texas, in Houston, Texas, which is Joel Osteen, a very popular pastor, and we have David in the studio, in the house right now, so he's going to be joining us. Joel Osteen initially closed his church, made out a tweet that the church is closed, so people shouldn't even they're not gonna have a church service over there. You know, it took like 2 days for people to criticize him on social media. People went to the church site to take videos and pictures that everything is okay over there. So why wouldn't he open the church?
But some of the pictures that they were showing, they were saying that it was kind of contradictory, because one side was showing that the pictures were the facility was good. And then another side is showing that
there was some pictures we showed. That was the parking, whatever. That really underground parking. You know, that was flooded. But apart from that,
that's what they were saying.
That's a church, man.
Well, of course, it fits what 60,000 people or 16. I think it's 60,000.
Yeah, so
60,000
people had to criticize him before
for him to change his mind.
So I mean, considering that brings us to how people are, with the religion, because Africa, we sit there and we've seen a flooding in Sierra Leone, right?
Yeah.
Where so far some people are trying to mobilize themselves and help them, and we haven't heard much from
anybody,
religious people.
Yeah.
I'll try to find information. Maybe we do not know, but I was trying to find information if there's been some donations, there's been some contributions, some assistance from these religious bodies, and I wasn't really able to find none so far. So that's why I'm questioning it, and how people, because the criticism that Joel Osteen faced at that time before he opened the church for people to go there, I mean, it wasn't supposed to be that way. That was the first place to be opened before anything else.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just stop you right there. Honestly, guys, stop criticizing Joe, man. What he did a move where any churches are business. People always forget that. Okay? Churches are business. If you never attended his church, you never supported his congregation. Okay? Why don't you think? Why don't you think more people go for you?
The churches in Houston and people who go to church, they are Houstonians.
Yeah.
Okay, but now,
Not good.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Listen.
Even if
let's be honest. The same people who are criticizing Joe, okay, they themselves will not allow all those people from Houston to come and live in their mansion. All those rich celebrity, all those journalism who are over there criticizing, oh, he should open his church. They themselves, they will not open their house, their door. I know that for fact. But show me what are there Kevin Hart? Are there all those celebrity?
Do they live there?
They have money.
They have money, and haven't they been donating their money?
Obviously, there's different thing. Okay, there's different thing. There's different donating money. Okay, and there's different going out there, allowing someone to come and live in your house. Okay.
So you want them? What kind of?
No. It's for shelter.
Listen,
if I need shelter, and I said, let me give you money. Which one would you take? You said no, keep your money, man. I just need a place to stay until the water goes down. Okay. Those celebrities, they will not allow. I know there's a lot of celebrities living in Dallas. They could have gone over there and say, hey guys, let's start bringing some people to live in our house. They won't do it.
Yeah,
so why are you guys criticizing a business? Say, that business.
That's the church.
That church is a business, my brother. It's not a church. It's a business.
Oh, the thing is, nobody's criticizing the. Wait. Where the church is right. There are hotels right there. There are hotels right there. Hotel owners. They didn't open the hotel for free for people to come in there. But nobody criticized them because wait. Hold
on, there's a difference. Listen,
we do not expect them to do that. We do not expect the hotel owners to open their hotel for people to come in for free. But as a church, right, is what you represent as a church, the body, right? What do you represent? You represent compassion for the people. You represent helping the needy.
That's business itself. Listen. As a business owner, okay.
Who's a business owner?
Who's a church? No, let me put it this way. Any type of business, okay?
Yeah.
The people that you service are in that area, okay?
Yeah.
So those are the same people who comes over there, give their money to you, okay? But you are the hotel owner, okay? You will not open for them to come over there and take shelter, okay? But yeah, you expected a church that live based on donation, okay? To come over there and show people always put so much expectation, when it comes to crisis on the churches, on the good spiritual people. Let me put this one. Let me finish my point of view. On a good so-called spiritual people, to be above and beyond, but they themselves, are not willing to do the same thing, and which to me I think it's a very, very hypocritical move. Don't criticize someone. Do not criticize someone. Either they are labeled, they are pastor, or they are labeled as a football player. Don't criticize them for their action because you do not know them.
No.
Okay, let's look at Karen said, I do not know much about Kenya. Does the executive branch have more power over the judicial branch? Meaning, can the president actually fight against the law? Per my understanding, that is the layman's understanding.
Yeah.
In African politics, the president has so much power than the judiciary, which is not supposed to be like that.
It's supposed to be a balance.
It's supposed to be a balance, exactly. It's not supposed to be like that. But per the African system and the African democracy, the president has so much power, right, than the judicial branch, and he can fight them. In Africa, he can fight them.
Though it's not logical, nor is it.
It shouldn't lawful. Be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
It's not lawful.
No, that's part of democracy, though. The challenge.
No, it's challenge, but not true.
Look. It's check and balances. Okay, it's supposed to be a check and balances. The judicial branch checks the president. Okay.
Yeah.
The president checks legislation, or vice versa. Okay? It's supposed to be a three-way, so that will each.
But the checks and balance, there are specific ways they are supposed to work.
Yeah.
It's not like within the government, the president cannot act outside his powers in order to check the judiciary. It has to come to specific terms. You can't say you are the president and you don't like what the judiciary is doing, so you just demoted the chief justice or whoever is in charge of it. There are certain ways the president can act in order to serve as check and balance, and I don't think the executive the president is the executive, right?
Yeah, the
doesn't
executive
have any direct. The only impact they have on the judiciary is selecting or nominating.
That's the American system.
Yeah. That is when the president have power.
But,
you know,
but that's the American system.
Even the
American system. The president, even the American system. Donald Trump was going after those same judicial. Who were going against his travel ban. He was going out.
Kenya is a Commonwealth country, and America is Commonwealth, Ghana is Commonwealth. So basically, our constitution
mimics the ones here.
So I think the president right now, the electoral commission and the judiciary, they come out and everybody knows, they declared for everybody to see. I don't think the president have that much powers anymore, because unless he wishes to act as a dictator.
No, he's threatening the judges today.
Yeah, I saw his threat, but
Trump
I think
did the same thing to those judges.
Yeah, so it's almost pretty much the same. But I'm proud of Kenya, their judiciary system, since they've been able to do that. You know, it's not common for African country. The judges and the lawyers themselves could have been bribed, and they'll go there and tell you, the opposition party, you guys should just calm down, go find some food and eat. The election was free and fair.
Yeah.
You know, mostly, typically, that's what we think. When election case goes to African court, there's no hope. So I think this court is exemplary to other African countries, you know.
Yeah.
And there's one thing we should talk about. I don't know if you guys talk about that. The observers.
There's been some clarification on the part of the observers. I mean, considering the fact that today I was listening to Dr. Kweti, who was an observer. He's part of this like group, right, who observe these things for development and organization in African countries. And he said what the observers, the ECOWAS, the African observers did was the right thing, because what they did was observe the election, everything was counted, everything was peaceful, right? Then the opposition party raised concerns, and even then when they raised the concerns, they reached out to the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission addressed the concerns and said that those concerns are not legitimate, so they're going to go ahead. The Electoral Commission is the only body that has been given the power to declare elections. So they raised the concerns. So what the observers,
what he said or what
and he said the observers, the statement they put out, if people took the time to read, right, they said, if the opposition feels like,
just giving an explanation, it's a lie. How come all the election in African countries, they go there to observe? Always they come out and say it was free and fair.
But wasn't it free and fair?
If the election that have been to court for the judiciary to quash the whole election, was it free and fair?
It was free and fair.
If it was free and fair, why would the court cancel?
Why was it? It was free. It was fair.
It wasn't free and fair.
Technicalities on the part of the Electoral Commission or whatever.
That makes it not free and fair.
It's free and fair.
What is free and fair? Tell me, if you said technicality, what if transmission of the election votes? Then the technicalities, they transfer all radar votes to Uhuru Kenyatta. Then you tell me it's free and fair. What makes it free and fair?
But that's not human error, that's machine though.
So the observers, what I think is that
the observers, that's
not their job. If one part doesn't go right, it makes the whole thing null and void.
The observers, that is not their job to watch the transmission.
They are required to give a statement or their opinion on the election. And I think if we observers, we are independent bodies, right?
Yeah.
What we see is what we say, but mostly they put
but they're not independent bodies though. They always go favor. You're supposed to have favoritism.
But they
they are fighting. My point is, when they go there, they put stability ahead of credibility of the elections. They go there thinking this place is maybe a chaotic place or troublesome place.
Yeah.
It's not wise to go there and say the election was not free and fair, and then the opposition has a stand now to make argument.
No, at least they advise the opposition to go to court if they feel like they haven't been treated right. So that is
not the advice I'm talking about. The opinion that they expressed about the election.
They said it was free and fair and transparent.
And in the end, it wasn't free and fair. A group of people over there, none of them could see anything wrong with the election. That the opposition has so much things to say against them. People, political figures, people, they go there thinking, I don't think that thing is even important.
Everybody go. They don't know what they do. They don't do anything to help.
And they have their own interest. They go there to cause trouble.
Yeah, they go there for their own interest. So that observer thing, I think they should really.
And African countries, do we observe European countries and Western world their election? I don't really know.
Sometimes they send people to observe, not to observe to make come back, just to
No,
learn.
Then we should stop that. If you go to be spectators somewhere,
Yeah.
when people come, they are supposed to be spectators, you know?
Yeah.
Africa is being a playground for everybody, and I think it's time African people rise up, you know? If we don't go to UK, we don't come to US
and say that the election was, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Then why would they come to Kenya and say the election was fair whilst it wasn't fair?
And then they'll have what's more, the United Nations special counselor over there as selecting members of, oh yeah, let's go over there and observe. Why the UN have to get involved in the African election?
But how about the African Union and the ECOWAS, and how about them?
I think
they are being controlled by the UN.
No, man, I believe.
So they can never win, you know?
I believe in being fair. If they extend us the same opportunities, then we should extend them the same thing.
What opportunities do you want them to extend you? They have election, they want you to come there and tell them if it was free and fair?
Why should we let them come and tell us if our election was free and fair?
Our democracy is still growing.
Whose democracy is still growing? They're fighting all over the world.
It needs nurturing.
What? Ukraine, it's not Ukraine, Turkey.
Yeah.
They almost overthrew the president. So nobody's country or democracy is free and fair.
It needs nurturing. It needs nurturing.
Everybody's democracy needs nurturing. Why don't they go to Russia and tell them what to do?
It's already an established. It's an established system. In Africa, nothing is. What do you mean? What?
To know it's established.
Hey, it's established. It's established. It's been established for however many years in Russia and those countries. They don't. They doesn't need. You said that what doesn't.
If you are doing your thing and I don't, if I'm doing something, I don't invite you to come there and tell me whether it's good or bad. Why should you invite me to come and tell you what you're doing is good or bad?
David. I understand what you're saying. You're trying to say more. Okay.
Okay.
Karen said, Karine, I'm not surprised when it comes to back home. Most power is where the money is. The president will probably pay most of those with bigger power in the court, and he will be fine. Hopefully, it will change one day. Yeah, sure, I agree with you completely. The president, because he controls everything in the country, right, all the resources and everything, he has utmost power over everything else. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing in other countries, but because of how their constitution is organized, the judiciary and the legislation actually have a bigger voice too. But in Africa, it's not like that.
That's what the check and balances comes into play.
When the president is able to threaten the judges in court, right, that I'm coming for you and we're gonna fix it, right? How is he gonna fix it? How is he gonna fix the president gonna fix the judicial system?
I think such comments. There's an example in the US here. Trump makes them.
Yeah.
You know, you can relate Trump comments to those comments. So
and it was condemned.
Trump said the media mistaking his words and his fake news. That's probably what happened.
But he goes again. But even Trump, when he started those things, there was a one of the judges who actually came first at him. Whatever that was before, and they said even judges are not supposed to make comments about political stuff. But Trump does that all the time, and Trump does everything anyway.
But I think
so
he's not someone you can check and balance.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if a president in Kenya makes such comments against the
I don't even agree in Africa, with the ruling of the court.
In Africa, they can come and kill you. In the whole house. That's my problem.
Yeah, just like the Electoral Commission, the IT guy, the Kenya's Electoral Commission, he was killed a few days before the election.
When you tell the Chief Justice that we are coming for you, what does that mean? You come in, it's in a bad taste, and that's a precedent.
You shouldn't be making
such comments. Allow other people who are not whatever to make such comments. Because someone who's in power, you're supposed to protect everybody in the nation, including the Chief Justice.
Yeah.
Right? You're supposed to protect
it's supposed to be one for all.
But if you are threatening.
Yeah.
I think the Supreme Court of Kenya is just causing Kenya a big problem. They should have just.
What is the law for?
Let me bring my view. I think they should have just told the opposition, side with the president who's been president before, side with him, and let the opposition win the case. Kenya, the region where Kenya finds itself, and the group of people over there close to Somalia with terrorists and this stuff, is a very troublesome area. So this time we don't even know how it's gonna go in Kenya. Although we are proud their judicial system is working, but the consequence of this action might lead to rebels.
The consequences.
If you do
because right now, how about if Kenyatta loses the second election?
Good. Yeah. If he loses, we all don't know, because Kenya have experienced post-election
violence.
Yeah.
So if he loses,
1,000 people
he's
died.
not gonna say I'm stepping down for you to come and become president.
because I won the first time. Yeah. And looking at the historical background, the two of them.
Yeah, the two of them.
I think there's tension from there and the families,
But the thing is, though, me personally, for everybody who are the spectator saying, "Oh, go take it up to your chief, to the judicial system if you feel like that system was feel unbalanced." You guys remember when Yahya Jammeh wanted a recount?
Yeah.
And everybody, they were like, no, it's fair. You see, this is the thing that I'm always saying, hypocrisy. If people need to mind their own business, and because the moment you implement that idea to the opposition party, that you can take it up to the judicial, to fight for a re-election, the other thing that you are planted a seed, of to cause more violence. So if Uhuru Kenyatta ended up losing after the re-election, it might cause.
That's what David is saying.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
But then you don't know which side it might work for.
And we African people, we might be proud of democracy and this thing, but we don't understand it that much.
Yeah, it doesn't work for our system.
Because even nowhere have they ever overturned the election for the other president to come and win. Even in America, it hasn't happened yet.
Ghana, Akufo-Addo won the first time. The second one, Mills.
No. But a court overturned the court. The court overturned. It hasn't. Even in America, it hasn't happened. Because I was reading the New York Times, where the New York Times was saying America maybe should go and learn from Africa. How election can be overturned by the court. It hasn't happened here before.
We are treading on a dangerous course.
It's very dangerous
because.
Democracy was never meant to work for African.
No, you can't say that. It's not like it can't work for us. But I think how we believe in democracy and want to make democracy work at all costs, it's expensive. You don't have to waste life for democracy. In that country,
how do we call it? Rwanda. They said that guy rigged the election, but it's over now. It's peaceful now. Everybody's back to normal business. And that guy's still president. And people are gassed.
But no one, because look, the people are not saying the opposition party. You guys, you trying to overturn or ask the judicial system to recount the vote. Yada yada yada. They say, "Hey, Kagame want peaceful." Hey, let's move on. End of it. Let's move on.
No, because there's always try, you're not gonna win.
No, but the thing is, there's always an outside party, that will always come over there and whisper in your ear, You should do this. You should do this. That's creating few. Even though you as a person
don't ever think that, because if you have lived in Africa and you know a country where it's so much divided, you don't need an outside party to come and tell you to go to court. MPP people, how they were desperate for power. You think even MPP and DC, they don't need nobody to come and tell them. In Ghana, if you have been a country which is so much divided, like Kenya, Ghana, for example, you don't need nobody, because the people who are there, they know what they're doing. They don't need an outside party to come and tell them. You think Olinga and those people need someone to come and tell them to go to court? No.
My point is,
the last election, right? Uhuru Kenyatta won by 50%. 50 point something votes, right? And Raila got like 47 or whatever. But this time, Uhuru got 54%. So if you were Raila, you would think, of course, I didn't even get as close as I got the last time. And now Uhuru got like 4% more. So
there must be something wrong somewhere.
You don't need someone to come and tell you that Raila needs to go to court.
Listen,
and this on the first time he's going to court. This is the third time.
Hurricane lost twice,
Yeah.
Back to back. But yes, she tried to challenge it, but it didn't go nowhere. Trump is our president.
Hey,
they looked into it. What are you talking about? They looked into it. They did an investigation.
Let's move on.
I think there's one thing that we African people are becoming very smart now. We have been talking about that. Raila went there and said, "Oh, people should boycott, demonstrate, no go to work and do all that."
And it backfired, yeah.
And then the people, like
people should go on strike, yeah.
Yeah, why should they go on strike? If they don't sell, they will be hungry.
Yeah.
And then you and your family eating chicken and drinking Fanta and Coke at home. Then they should not go and sell. So my message, I think Africa is becoming smart.
Yeah, people are becoming smart.
If people were so like it used to be, then people will be on the street. Hey, they'll be there, and the soldiers will kill them. Nobody mind him. And that's he knew like he's not gonna be able to fool people anymore.
Yeah.
So he chose the best course.
I think he's gonna lose again.
Definitely he's gonna lose.
He's going to lose again.
And when they take it to the Supreme Court again, they can't overturn it the second time.
Yeah.
That wouldn't seem fair to
Uhuru Kenyatta and his fans. Yeah.
So I think this is just gonna be waste of money and putting the country at high risk.
High risk, yeah.
But at the same time, it shows the country's growth.
There's no growth.
There is growth. If they're able to do it in a civilized way. I said, hold on.
When MPP lost election, whatever, at that time, I was thinking, how about if the court says and MPP, they should go and have another election, whatever, what is going to happen? But when the court threw away the case, what happened? Everybody moved on with their normal business. Nothing happened. You go home, cook, you reorganize, then come back again, cook. You know what I'm saying? And Akufo-Addo, that was the second time he has lost election. He came back the third time. And he won. Relo Odinga, he should relax. Let me see. Karen says exactly. That's why most African presidents remain president for many more years than they are expected to. That's why we, the younger generation, need to always put our education first. The worst thing will be a president who become a president due to just power instead of his knowledge. I mean, obviously, a lot of people get power. Look at this guy in Togo. Foreign Nasugbe. Foreign Nasugbe in Togo. Now people are protesting that he limit his term. There should be a term limit on the presidency, and he's killing them. You know. So the people who are protesting, they should have relaxed because obviously they are following one leader, opposition leader, who's coming after Foreign Nasugbe, and they are protesting and they are killing some of them. They are putting some of them in prison. If you allow Foreign Nasugbe to become president, he's still young. He's going to become president. Nothing is going to happen. Togo is still going to be Togo. The person who's going to become the president, he's not going to change anything for Togo.
Yeah, that's my message too.
Yeah.
I don't think those people, if the political leaders, people in a high position that enjoys.
Look at Mugabe. He's tired. Soon he's going to die. If he dies, now they can have a new president.
Yeah.
But how long is that? How long is that?
No, let's come back to that Jollof thing. I know we're talking too much political. Yeah, let's talk about the hurricane, man.
Actually, yeah. So on Facebook, you see, do you wanna contribute to this?
To Joel Osteen, yeah.
Not Joel Osteen to
the Hurricane Harvey,
yeah.
Yeah. It's not bad though, since we all live here and we have people living over there, you know. But it's surprising how Facebook doesn't recognize Africa.
Have you seen there's flooding in which country right now?
Nepal, India.
No, even today in one African country. Oh, I forgot. There's flooding in there, which it has displaced a lot of people, but nobody. It's in the news. I saw it. I read it. I'm like, wow.
I see Facebook and something happened in France. Facebook is in a hurry. Create something new. People create
Facebook
awareness.
is not for us. So sometimes we just have to.
In social media and Facebook, I think a lot of Africans patronize. And when it comes to numbers, Africans we have numbers.
Yeah.
All of us here, we are Africans. And
African people could have created. I think we African people could have created something too.
Their own Facebook.
Yeah.
Their own
exactly. African book or whatever. And if all African people are on there to communicate, then you can put them because it's not for us.
I don't think Facebook is specifically
all I want to say.
It's not for. But if everybody deals with interest, and these are businesses, like BFA always say, it's a business. So if you're a business, you deal with interest. Right?
Yeah, so I don't even blame them. I blame the African people ourselves. You see brothers paying much attention to things that doesn't concern Africa. And when something happens to Africa, you don't see African people. All of us are our friends on Facebook. We see them change their status or whatever to France flag.
Yeah.
Contributing to other places. But they kill 1,200 people in Nigeria. Everybody looks unconcerned. Oh, I'm from Ghana. I'm not from Nigeria. I'm from Sudan. I'm not from Nigeria. Yeah. But something happens to any Western country or somewhere, I think Africans' mental slavery is the new form of slavery.
Of course.
And it's hard for people to people don't even care. And when you talk, it's like you are rather a fool.
All I'll say is for the people who all over the world who are facing the flooding and heavy rain, hurricanes, just pray and just hoping that you guys stay safe and come out of this stronger than ever, honestly, people. Because I got family member in Houston who are going.
They said there's going to be another hurricane in Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Yeah. I think Miami's next.
On Monday or something, or Tuesday. So people are now. There's people are praying, really praying that maybe this is the end time. coming.
So. No,
it's not the end time yet. It's not the end time yet.
Because the water is taking over the surface of the earth now, everywhere. You know, we see. Honestly, for the past this month, we've seen a lot happening everywhere. This hurricane just happened in Harvey. Now it's gonna come in Miami. In Nepal, we've seen the videos. We've seen this early on. Today, I'm telling you, another country is flooded.
My concern. I'm concerned about the people. And that's why I'm concerned how this is going to impact the trade war, in terms of food. Because look, we get most of agriculture in African countries. Bangladesh produce a bunch of rice. Philippines, those countries that produce a bunch of rice, and Africans love their rice. It's going to increase the price of rice significantly.
That wouldn't bother me because Africans, I think we are just a bunch of lazy people living over there. Our land is so fertile. And we live over there. So even if there's a problem that is going to cause a shortage of importation of rice, that is okay. The people should be able to provide for locally. In Ghana, our backyard, anything that you plant over there, it is able to grow.
Yeah.
But everybody walks around looking for white collar job. Everybody wanna sit in the office in AC.
Oh yeah.
So African people, when it comes to that sense, I think domestication, the leaders. I don't even blame the local people. It's the leaders. Nobody have any strategic policy for the welfare of the African people.
One district, one factory is coming.
Yeah, we are hoping for to see that.
Free education has kicked in.
Alright, so guys, let me guys ask you this. Let me ask you guys something. Okay, do you guys think what Joe what he did at first? Okay, do you guys think that was morally wrong since he's a member of a church, since the leader of a church?
It is wrong. By all standards, it's completely wrong. As a church, you're supposed to provide comfort. You're supposed to provide a home. It's not supposed to be a home for the needy, right? So if people are in need, the community, whether they are members of your church or they're not, whether you've met them before or you haven't, whether you know them or you don't, if they are in need, they're not supposed to be the people to even come and ask you. As long as you know, you're supposed to reach out to them and say, hey, I have provided this place for you. Anybody's welcome in there. You're not supposed to wait for people to come. If you do that, then what are you trying to tell people that you are preaching, the things you are preaching to the people? What are you trying to tell them?
Okay, my point is not just the church, but religion is a tool. In the hands of a good person, it's a useful tool. In the hands of a bad person, it's a bad weapon. Mm-hmm. Religion is sometimes used to control people, to subvert them, and make them do the will of other people. And it has become a business institution whereby people prey on ignorant, let me not say ignorant, people, because most countries or people that are religious, education rates over there is low. Because when you look at, what is his name, George? This guy?
Joel Osteen.
Joel.
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 Joel Osteen, go ahead.
Okay, if you're looking at this guy, he'll be preaching all the time, talking about stuff. Number of people that goes to the church every Sunday donate 50 cents. If you put them together every Sunday, how many Sundays
millions, man.
Within the month? 50 cents. If he's got 200 people or 100 people in his church, 50 cents every. How many Sundays are in 1 month? And how many?
More than 20,000 people.
So imagine the money this guy will be reaping from the church. Yeah. So it's a good business. And since the society we believe in religion so much, they will not even tax him. It's tax free. He's got tax, and I think he's gonna get tax incentive if he engage in these activities. Yet selfishness, he wouldn't even do these things, because I think when you do this kind of activity, you donate to these people, you might get tax incentive for doing these things. The money doesn't go away. Big corporations and companies, they don't donate to orphanages and some institutions in the society just like they want to do it. It's a means of cutting down their tax.
Of course.
So
he said later on, the city provided a place for the people who will be affected. So he was waiting for that place to get filled up before he will open his.
Excellent point.
His issue is not.
His
issue it's not just even about him. It's symbolic. How churches or religion prey on people. It's a psychological warfare. I think the church, the whole society we have specific perception about the church.
Yes.
That is why the church is a non-profit organization and the government doesn't tax the church, right? If the church was seen in the light as a separate legal entity or a business entity that is supposed to make profit in its business operations, then we, the society, wouldn't expect the church to come out and offer helping hand to people in need, you know. But since the society, we all believe the business you operate in is not for purpose or for profit. It's for the welfare of the society and the people's belief and that stuff. We are not going to tax you. People come there, you generate more money than so many business around you, but yet still we don't tax you. So when something happens and you don't find it necessary or important to help out, then the perception that we base on to give you that tax credit or whatever allowance so that we don't tax you, it's eroding that basis. Then we have to start taxing churches. You understand what I'm saying? If you are operating just like a business organization or a profit motive organization, then with the state or the government doesn't have to grant you that tax exemption anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to operate like these people that are in trouble don't donate to the church, so you won't offer helping hands to them. Then you're operating like you expenses and income.
Okay, can I get every church operates based on expenses and income. Okay, regardless of the tax incentive that they receive. Okay, they still have utility. They still have staff they have to pay. Okay, they still have, in the back end. It's non-profit, but it's still a business. Okay, so let me put it this way. My point is, look, I think like you made an excellent point when you say church leaders, church as view, it's more like a symbolic. Okay, you are a force of good. Okay, and you should remain good. These are characteristics that it should already be there for you to do. Okay, my problem and why like I am defending Joe. Okay, is this. Okay, Houston. There's a church and separation between church and state. Okay.
Yeah.
The whole people. Okay. Despite of the domination, despite of the belief. Okay, belong to what's called to state of Texas, Houston, city. Yeah. Okay. So for him to say, hey, the state has what's called designated, dorms, shelter, for people to go over there, if that is full, then come over here, That's about the point.
He didn't say if that is full. He said he closed his church initially because he was waiting for that place to be full before he opened it.
Let me finish. Let me go back.
I don't think that was in the good faith. That was in the good faith.
That was in the good faith.
That was in the bad faith.
Trusting your local state government, who you pay taxes. Let me put it this way, every state, every person, regardless of your religion, regardless of your intent, regardless of what, you pay state taxes, whether you like it or not, to your state, local government, where they're supposed to provide, basic needs. When this stuff happen, when we're always quickly, let me finish. We're always quickly, to look at the churches. We never looked at people, who were constantly paying money, for them to be sitting high and mighty, to write these laws to who's going to Texas.
I think
look at the state. Look at the state. Look at the state itself. Because that's where when he says the state first, church next. Yes.
Yeah, I do understand you, but I think
I think at the end of the day, your morality of human life versus and business and church is mixed up.
No, if the state is going to offer,
hold on, yes,
why would you wait for the state?
No. It is true. No. I'm gonna say what I have to say. What do you mean, Elvis? At the end of the day, as you guys said previously, you stand for a reason. You're there to be a church. As a church, you have to lead. And you have to provide. You have to lead the morality. No. You have to lead the morality. If you stand as a church, hold on.
What is morality?
Hold on. it's not about his house. Why would it's not about your house. It's not about your house. It's not about your house. It's about the church that you. It's about.
And he made it as he said the city shelter, right? They have put things in place with security, with volunteers, whatever. But the church, you don't have security there. You know, things gonna get stolen and stuff like that. So you have to wait. If that place gets pulled up, then the city can reach out to you. Then they will be my phone is off now. That's what I was going to try to. The city will reach out to you. They'll be able to provide security for a place for you. Now you guys are trying to. How about if people come there and they get their things stolen? You're going to say people went there and they get their things stolen.
No, it's not about that. No.
I don't think that way. I think as people, we all here, whatever our opinion is, we are part of the society, and issues that happen, we are supposed to address problems in the society. Yeah. The church.
You live you, you live you. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, you said that we should stop.
If we are not live anymore, nobody is listening.
Yeah, nobody's listening.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, we have to condemn what we want to condemn. That guy, his act was not in good faith. Being a church, you are supposed to help people out. You don't have to wait and people attack you, then you come and defend yourself and tell people, oh, now this is for this to happen. You know,
David, but the thing
your analysis, your analogy, church cannot operate like a business. That is there for
let's be honest. David, everybody is different religion. Everybody has different belief. It's like the people who are coming over there criticizing.
How long did it?
It was 30 something minutes.
The people who are coming over there to criticizing Joe, are the people who never even support his congregation. You yourself. I watched this video. They go. Well, me myself, I'm non-religious. But these religious people supposed to be doing this. I'm like, okay, what are you doing?
What do you expect from that person who said he's not religious? What do you expect that person to be?
I expect them to be pointing fingers of others.
My brother.
That's what he's doing.
No. Look, the fact that it's a church.
No, the church is not the government. You don't pay. Listen.
People pay, what is being saying? People pay money to the government, and the government renders services directly to the people. Yeah. People pay money to the church, and they buy Range Rover.
They don't do anything to the people.
Listen. There's a different thing. Obligation. And what's it called? And free of choice. Donation. No one tells you,
People are not forcing him, they are criticizing him.
No,
if it was the government, then people will not just...
Look, people don't... Look,
what is showing right now?
Yo, are we still on?
Yeah.
What? Yo, Philip? Yeah. I think we're still on. What? I think we're still on.
Yeah, we are still live.
Yeah. Hey, bring back the...
Bring what?
Yeah, I think we're still on, man.
We're not.
You sure?
We're not.
Hey, we are.
Huh?
We are.
Yeah, we are. Look, it's live right now.
We're live, man. I'm looking at me.
Yeah, let me drink that. You see
hey, man. No, because you stop. It's on your phone, so even though it's still... Wow, this is pretty cool. Actually, this is cool.
No, let's turn it off.